Good morning. My name's Jim Bedics, and I'm going to be your presenter this morning for our webinar. Before we get started, I just wanted to go over a couple of housekeeping items. We're set for a presentation this morning of about 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to reserve some time at the end for questions. If you have any questions along the way, please use the questions box in the GoToWebinar application to submit them. We'll address them at the end, time permitting. If we do run out of time and don't get an answer to your question, we'll follow up with you after the webinar with a direct email. Also, just to let you know, we are recording today's webinar, and that recording will also be made available to all attendees shortly afterwards. And finally, there is going to be a post-webinar survey. Please be sure to fill out that survey. Filling out that survey is the way that you do qualify to get your $10 Starbucks gift card. All right, with that out of the way, I think we're ready to get started. So today, for an enterprise to be successful, we really need to speed time to value across a hybrid world. To do this, a new generation of applications and data will demand a new technology platform. That new technology platform needs to be fast, flexible, scalable, and composable. You need to be able to deliver it in the world of a hybrid IT environment, meaning possibly private cloud, public cloud, in your data center, or even stretching out to the intelligent edge. The intelligent edge is where your enterprise will touch your customer and your employee data, and new value in data is being created today. All of this will create more value for your business. The digital transformation is driven by a new generation of these applications and data and a new speed of business. In our connected world, expectations continue for more engaging, personal, and seamless experiences across a number of platforms and channels, and reflective of our context in a given moment. The challenge for enterprises today is that they still have to deliver on keeping the business running while addressing inefficiencies of existing environments, and at the same time try to deliver these new apps and products faster and more available than ever before. Application growth is exploding, and that application growth is outstripping the current ability to deliver those services via today's legacy infrastructure. Therefore, a new type of infrastructure is going to be needed. With HPE, hybrid IT can be made simple. We're going to look at leveraging technology and innovation around hyperconverged infrastructure as well as software-defined infrastructure to help make running that business and running IT much simpler. Specifically with hyperconverged, which is what we're here to talk about today, it's a very hot segment in the market. A lot of names, a lot of players have showed up recently. And the goal here is to simplify your virtual apps and your data, accelerate that application performance, which improves the speed to business while lowering your costs and helping you achieve that hybrid cloud experience in minutes. HPE is a technology leader and innovator behind the hyperconverged solutions to help solve business challenges and improve those business outcomes. Some examples here, leveraging the HPE hyperconverged infrastructure, you can expect potentially 4.5 times better performance of your applications versus traditional IT. Be able to back up and restore a 1 terabyte virtual machine in less than a minute, and save up to 69% over your current infrastructure costs, and potentially even save over public cloud costs. As we talked about, we want to simplify your virtual apps and data to help accelerate your app performance, speed business continuity, lower your costs, and achieve an enterprise cloud in minutes. Any technology to do that needs to be fast, efficient, and multi-cloud capable. The specific technology that we're going to look at in more detail today is the HPE SimpliVity. Some of the benefits that we look at in FAST are the ability to lower the time required to manage your environment, which speeds up your time to market and frees up assets to focus on those new applications. We also allow you to run all workloads that are virtualized on this platform, negating the need for specialized platforms for applications that require things like low latency or high IOP workloads. Overall, most folks will see up to a 50% improvement in their application performance on the SimpliVity platform versus their legacy IT. At the same time, the solution is extremely efficient. It allows you to perform backups and restores of large virtual machines in near real time, while you're also able to save on capacity using advanced data services like compression and deduplication. That translates to saving costs by up to 69%. Today, the solution is focused around VMware. Very shortly, we will have an offering that also works with Microsoft Hyper-V, and this opens up the door for your multi-cloud strategy. To understand where we're at today with hyperconverged, let's take a look back and see where things started. This picture shows a legacy stack that is probably common in most IT environments still today. We have dedicated server or compute resources running a hypervisor that are connected to dedicated purpose-built storage arrays, and those are connected via a typically dedicated storage switching environment, whether it's fiber channel, iSCSI, or fiber channel over Ethernet. On top of that, we then have an appliance or some sort of target to do our backup applications and to dedupe that backup data. If we're replicating that data to a DR location, most folks will also have some sort of WAN accelerator or optimization product to fully utilize expensive WAN links to their best potential. You may also find that certain applications that are low latency or high throughput don't perform well on traditional tier 1 storage, so a lot of customers will also go out and purchase dedicated arrays, 100% solid state, or storage caching devices to hold those workloads. On top of all that, we have software licensing to do things like backup and replication that are outside the cost of the hardware. All of this requires independent management, adds complexity, and takes away from the time your IT staff could be innovating and working on new applications and projects. So the first step to improving this environment happened in the early 2000s, before 2010, where we had integration for some of the vendors of the compute and the storage. Integrated systems improved management and allowed you to basically purchase and get support for the compute and storage in one bundled package. They also may have improved management by integration into the hypervisor to simplify creation of the disks and virtual machines, but they did absolutely nothing to the remaining components in the stack. We still have everything else from backup to WAN acceleration and all the software required. There was still a better approach that could be had. This led to hyperconverged products. Hyperconverged is out in the market today, and most other hyperconverged solutions follow this exact same model that we're showing here. We've now collapsed your tier 1 storage and storage switching inside that compute. Again, simplifying the environment, but at the cost of doing things with the CPU that's in the server. This limits the amount that you can use in your server for your business applications while it's performing the data services. They also have not addressed things like backup, WAN optimization, or removing some of those required software components. This is the big difference when we look at HPE SimpliVity. With SimpliVity, we address those remaining components and roll them into the stack. This offers a truly simplified design and helps lower your cost as well as ease your management by rolling everything into one simple product. Let's take a closer look at that. Again, on the left is the legacy components that you would find in a traditional data center today. And on the right would be what it's replaced with in HPE SimpliVity in a minimum 2-node architecture. All of your IT services are included in this architecture in a single building block. We have global VM-centric management and mobility, meaning you work in the tools that your IT staff understands. In this case, it would be VMware vSphere and vCenter, and shortly in the future, System Center Virtual Machine Manager for Hyper-V. The integrated hypervisor runs your core applications in a dedicated resource pool provided by the hypervisor. At the same time, we perform advanced data services on any data that is created. That includes deduplication and compression, and we also perform data locality to keep the data blocks closest to the applications that need them. There's built-in resiliency with backup and replication, and the ability to rapidly recover without the need for additional backup or replication software. The data efficiency is accelerated by a dedicated hardware card. This is a big differentiator between HPE SimpliVity and other hyperconverged offerings that are in the market today. Most other hyperconverged offerings are leveraging the CPUs inside their nodes to perform these data services. Because of that, they're limited on the amount of work that they can do for your traditional VM application workload. By collapsing all these components into this simple design, you can also reduce your costs. If you think about it, everything on the left side probably has a support contract, a maintenance contract, licensing costs. That's all baked in now to a simple solution. Finally, because we've simplified the management, you're essentially multi-cloud ready in a few clicks. You can deploy your virtual machines and applications very simply using the tools that your IT staff is used to. It does not require that you have specialized storage, network, or server administrators to be performed by an IT generalist. Let's drill into each of these components a little bit more so you can understand what really makes SimpliVity special. For the global VM-centric management and mobility, everything is done via policies, and these policies are created in vCenter. From the storage aspect, we no longer have LUNs, shares, or volumes to manage, greatly simplifying how you deal with storage in the environment. Everything is done with simple right-click operations through the vSphere web client using native tools. You can view all your data centers in one pane of glass, whether they're local or remote, and you can actually move data between those data centers in a very efficient and rapid manner due to the deduplication and compression. HPE SimpliVity is designed to allow you to run all your workloads in one single pool, whether those are high throughput or high bandwidth workloads, low latency workloads. As you can see, they can all be run on HPE SimpliVity, and they can all live side by side. Again, greatly simplifying the IT environment and eliminating the need for islands of IT assets to support different workloads. At the same time, by performing advanced data services on every I/O that comes through the solution, we help to speed up your application performance by stripping out unnecessary I/O. We also strive to keep data locality, so the blocks that you do need for your applications are closest to them, while eliminating network reads and caching wherever possible. The solution is based on an all-flash technology, so everything is low latency and predictable high performance. Most customers, after moving to HPE SimpliVity, see a greater than 50% improvement in their application performance compared to their legacy environments. Take a minute to talk about that efficiency. With the resiliency, backup, and DR that's built into HPE SimpliVity, we're able to perform full logical backups with near zero overhead to the virtual environment. That allows you to slide your RTOs and RPOs down from hours to minutes, managed simply with policy-based automation, and provides for simple offsite DR. Another design difference between HPE SimpliVity and some of the competitors in the market today is how we handle data resiliency. SimpliVity leverages both RAID and RAIN technology for superior resiliency. RAIN, for those of you who are not familiar with it, stands for Redundant Array of Independent Nodes. Basically, a block is not only protected locally within a node, but is mirrored to a second node immediately when it is written. This guarantees that if we should have a single node failure, all data is still available. Deduplication and compression are always on with HPE SimpliVity. There's no need to turn them off. The deduplication and compression are performed once at inception, and that deduplication hash is shared globally across all the nodes. Again, the major difference here is the dedupe and compression work is offloaded to an accelerator card known as the OmniStack card. This is a major difference between HPE SimpliVity and competitors, where the competitors use the system CPU to perform this work. Because we're offloading to the OmniStack card, it frees up additional CPU cycles to run your business workload. Many customers will actually save over 90% capacity when performing both production and backup workloads on HPE SimpliVity. Some have even seen workload reduction over 100 to 1. Let's take a moment here to take a deeper look at exactly how this process works for deduplication and compression and how we achieve these efficiencies. So what you'll notice here is in the traditional world, we have virtual machines at the top, persistent storage at the bottom. The differentiator here for HPE SimpliVity is the presentation and data management layer that are managed by the OmniStack accelerator card. For the presentation layer, this is exactly what VMware sees, thinks that it has written to, and what it is writing to and reading from. The data management layer is where the OmniStack accelerator does its work, removing duplicated information and performing compression. So, first I/O enters the system. This is a unique I/O written by the virtual machine, passing through the layer that VMware understands. It is now hashed by the accelerator card, and since it is unique, it is written to the persistent storage below. The next block comes in, a similar process because again, this is a new block that we did not know about. The data management layer hashes that and writes it to storage. And now a third new block comes in from yet a different machine, and again, the process is repeated. Now, let's see what happens when we get duplicated I/O. Two new blocks have entered from two virtual machines. Those blocks already exist on the persistent storage. The data management layer understands that and does not need to write that block down to the storage. Instead, it simply updates a pointer table describing where the block is already located. The same process is done for the second redundant block. Because these I/Os are eliminated, it improves the performance of the application. If you look at this over time, you'll notice that all the blocks coming in and out of your virtual machines, as they pass through, only a small portion of the unique blocks are what actually are written down to the persistent storage. This helps us improve the performance of reading and writing from the storage, as well as extending the life cycle of the SSDs. This technology results in improved cost efficiencies and streamlined operations versus your legacy environment. Again, by simply reducing the amount of hardware in the solution, you can avoid legacy costs for support contracts and maintenance. By removing things like dedicated backup and replication software, you can also lower your cost for licensing. And the physical footprint of the environment will also shrink. Means less power, less space, less cooling. On the soft cost side, because the environment is much easier to manage, you should not need dedicated specialists to understand backups or replication or provisioning storage. The environment is simple to upgrade, again, improving that time to market and wasting less time on keeping your environment running. For environments where disaster recovery is top of mind, HPE SimpliVity offers RapidDR. RapidDR automates the failover of your SimpliVity virtual machines from one environment to another. For those of you that are familiar with VMware Site Recovery Manager, this is very similar in architecture. However, it is at a fraction of the cost. Again, reducing the complexity of that DR and failover helps improve your time to market. The automation also eliminates the risk for manual processes and speeds up your overall RPO. Let's take a closer look at the actual hardware available in HPE SimpliVity. You'll notice that we have nodes that are designed for things like small remote offices all the way up to extremely large use cases. Common across all nodes, regardless of size, is the ability for the OmniStack accelerator to do that deduplication, compression, and I/O reduction. The scalability is really determined just on the needs of your storage. The CPU and memory can be independently scaled in each node. RapidDR is an additional add-on that can be done for environments where DR is required. It is not necessary in a single site environment. Encryption at rest can be performed for those that need it for compliance purposes. And we do also support accelerated GPUs for VDI environments where that's required. Finally, all of this is backed up by the HPE SimpliVity Hyper Guarantee. There are a number of pillars in the guarantee. It is the only guarantee in the industry for hyperconverged infrastructure. We guarantee that if you leverage SimpliVity for your primary and backup storage combined, you'll save 90% of the capacity over your legacy environment. For hyperprotected, guarantee that you could do a local backup or restore of a 1 terabyte VM in under 1 minute, and that you could perform that using 3 clicks. Extremely easy to manage. The hyper manageability guarantees that it takes less than 1 minute to create or update a backup policy for up to thousands of VMs across your sites. And should you ever need to expand or replace a SimpliVity node, the hyper availability guarantees that you'll have 0 downtime, 0 reconfiguration, and you won't need to re-enter IP addresses. Thank you. With that, I'm going to actually open it up for some questions. Let me see if we received any here. I haven't seen any yet, so if anybody does have a question, please type it in the box, and I'll make sure that we do address it. And it doesn't look like we're having any questions. I'll leave that open for a couple minutes here. While you're thinking about those questions, just one last reminder. Please make sure that you do fill out your post-event survey. Again, that is the key for you receiving the $10 Starbucks gift card. Okay, if there are no additional questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar here. We'll end it just a couple minutes early. Oh, there is a question here. Let me see. Yeah, it was just more of a comment. All right. We'll go ahead and end the webinar at this point. Thank you for your time today. And please feel free to contact us if you have any other questions about HPE SimpliVity.